Well, it looks like he's turning around parts of it. It's hard when you have a quarterback with, with a rating that we got. He has the ability, but something just is not jiving. I think I do believe in Aaron. I've known Aaron for, since 1996. I was a fan. I've always been a fan of him. I see the way he handles the room. If I were a player, I would respond to him because he's the real deal.
He trusts me to make that decision. Again, he made a comment, and he has every right to his comment. And again, that comment was actually said by a number of guys, including our quarterback, as far as the efficiency of how we play. And we're not going to fight that. We understand that. We have to get better. We do. But I don't think there's anywhere in that comment where he said he doesn't like Justin. I don't think there's anywhere in that comment where he says that Justin's just, I don't think so. Yes, is he upset that, we haven't completed a pass as far as what you just said? You said, I didn't even read it, so I don't know. That's what he says. But overall, we're on the same page when it comes to that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Sports Talk Nation. Michael Cohen here with you. We got a lot to discuss. We are just hours away. I know Week 8's, the continuation of Week 8 is less than 24 hours away, and we're 24 hours away from the Jets taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. 0-7 are the Jets. How often do we find ourselves talking about a team that's 0-7? This is a team that should run away and hide, right? We shouldn't be talking about a team that at this point that is this bad, but they just find ways to create headlines. And, of course, it's been a wild week from the Woody Johnson press conference, impromptu press conference, if you will, that he had on Tuesday. Then you had Aaron Glenn's response on Wednesday, and then Justin Fields as well. And it's just been one hellacious haymaker after another for a fan base that, is just going for the ride and just trying to hold on to the best they can. Now, before I begin this, I'm going to be very clear here. Yes, I do believe that Woody Johnson's intentions in this press conference were initially good. He tried to take the heat off his head coach, tried to give him an endorsement. Some would say, as the old adage is, the dreaded vote of confidence. But he did try to do that. However, he also found a way in his comments to undercut his quarterback by throwing him under the bus and talking about how he isn't completing passes, and that's part of the reason why the team is not winning. Theoretically, may be true, but of course it's much more complicated than that. There's a lot of reasons why the Jets aren't winning games right now here in 2025. So why is, of course, everyone upset over these comments? Well, not only does he undercut the quarterback and put him in an awkward spot, put his coach in an awkward spot, but there is a history here for the Jets under Woody Johnson, the franchise that has not been well run during his stewardship of this team over the last 25 plus years. And you go back to not just the fact that this team doesn't win and doesn't win consistently, hasn't been to the playoffs in 15 years, as we know, but look at players that come and go from this franchise, whether it be Sam Darnold, whether it be very briefly Geno Smith with Seattle. We take a look at Todd Bowles, who goes from being a bad coach at the Jets to now also being a perennial playoff coach here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, now with Baker Mayfield as quarterback. You take a look now at Robert Saleh, who goes back to San Francisco, now is a genius. He has like 5 or 6 rookies on defense, and they're all fantastic. Jeff Ulbrich now looks like a genius down in Atlanta as the defense coordinator down there. And, of course, the coup de grace being Aaron Rodgers, who has now revitalized his career in Pittsburgh with the Steelers. Granted, it is the Steelers. It's not like he went from the Jets to, the Browns, and all of a sudden the Browns are a playoff team. He went to the Steelers. So, it's Mike Tomlin. It's an established culture of winning and success, and that's where he goes to a team that is now 4-1, or 4-2 rather, in Pittsburgh. So all of this, we take a look at all of this, and you trace back saying, where are the problems? What's the center of this? Unfortunately, it's the owner. It's Woody Johnson. And again, there's history here. the Athletic article that came out last year. Point out a lot of the disparities that have been going on here for a while. Whether it be him locking horns with Rodgers over the offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett and the fact that those two did not get along. Part of the reason why the Jets had to move on from Aaron Rodgers is because the owner really wanted to move on, didn't like the quarterback. You look at the fact that in that Athletic story, there's talk about the Madden ratings, right? The fact that Joe Douglas felt that even his job was being undercut by the owner and that he was getting involved in personnel matters. The talk about Woody being concerned and worried about what people were saying about him on social media. All those things are out there. You have the story that was on ESPN last year about the NFLPA giving Woody Johnson of the Jets a grade of F and ranking him 32nd out of 32 owners, saying that there was a reported culture of fear, and they felt management made the conditions worse after players provided feedback, and that Johnson was received with the lowest ranking for his perceived willingness to not invest in facilities. Now, the Jets have since, and they've showed a lot of it on their social media, that they have upgraded the facilities and upgraded locker rooms, what have you, this year, but the Jets got a very low grading last year and very low grades. So, yes, I understand what Woody's trying to do, but when you say that, your quarterback is not getting the job done, you're paying him $30 million a year, Woody. That's a heck of an indictment of your quarterback, and I feel bad for Justin Fields in a way. And yes, he has not played well. He has not played well at all. But when you have to now answer questions to the media, and the media comes at you and says, hey, did you know what the owner said about you? That's not fair to the kid. It really isn't. It's bad enough that he got benched last week. It's bad enough that he hasn't played well this year. And he hasn't done the job for this franchise. To have to answer questions about the owner, that's not fair to him at all. And also, he did drop a bit of a missive to Justin Fields when he said that, he really hasn't had much of a interaction with Woody Johnson at all, that he only met him once before a game. That's a heck of an indictment of the owner. Shouldn't you, as the owner, go out of your way, try to, meet players, especially those you're going to pay a guaranteed of, again, I feel like I said this 5 times already, $30 million a year? Shouldn't you go out there and try to make, say, hey, nice to meet you, how you doing? Or, when you see him in the hallway, hey, Justin, what's going on, man? What's up? Shouldn't you try to, get yourself out there just a little bit? I would think you would. And that's why I do give some kudos. Now, maybe this is taking it to the extreme. I understand that. With Colts owner Carly Gordon, who stands on the sideline with a headset on, with the coach's headset on, and reports are she does that so she can understand and get to know what the coaches and players are doing, how the operation works on the field. I got to give her some credit. Now, it's, again, an extreme, almost Jerry Jones-esque in a way, being on the field that way, but she's trying to get to know that franchise and try to establish a culture. Hey, the Colts are 6-1. Daniel Jones has turned his life around over there down in Indianapolis. So it's all about that. It's how you establish a culture from the top all the way down through your organization. And you have to have a culture of, whether it be accountability, whether it be better communication, whatever it may be. It feels like the Jets are still having some issues in that regard. So we have Aaron Glenn backpedaling and trying to deflect and answer for the owner and trying to account what he was trying to say with Justin Fields. Even that's a waste of time. And certainly Aaron Glenn doesn't do himself any favors when he doesn't announce who his starting quarterback will be. Friday, he's sitting there defiant, saying he knows who his quarterback will be, but will not announce it to the media because he doesn't want to. Why? And why? That doesn't make any sense. I guess he's trying to pull something out of the Bill Parcells playbook. I remember back in 1999, there was a game against the Colts. The Jets were not playing well, of course, with Rick Myers, the quarterback. And the assumption was that Meyer was going to be the quarterback still. And then all of a sudden, Ray Lucas comes running onto the field. He's the starting quarterback, and that's just the way Bill does things. He won't tell anybody. He just does it. It feels like Glenn's trying to pull it out of that page, but the problem is when he's defiant and trying to deflect from the owner as well at the same time, it just creates an even bigger mess. So even if he starts Fields tomorrow, the story will be he didn't listen to the owner. And if he starts Tyrod Taylor tomorrow, whether his knee's ready or not, oh my God, Woody Johnson's having influence on what Aaron Glenn's doing. Aaron Glenn can't win. Fields can't win. Tyrod Taylor can't win because of what Woody Johnson said. It's just an absolute mess. And as I say that, now we get where the Justin Fields will indeed start the game on Sunday for the Jets. Tyrod Taylor now apparently will not travel with the team. It will be Justin Fields who will start the game on Sunday for the Jets. So even in spite of what Woody Johnson says about his quarterback, who's getting $30 million guaranteed, he will be under center on Sunday for the Jets when they take on the Bengals as the circus continues. So here are the Jets now at 0-7. Going into Cincinnati, they're probably going to lose, probably fall to 0-8. And this is just what they are. They are a spiraling mess right now, out of control. So one thing that people keep harping on is, will Aaron Glenn be back in 2026? We're not even Halloween yet, folks. It's not even Halloween. Okay, it's the week of Halloween. My answer is, at the moment, yes, because we're only 8 games into this mess, and you don't want to necessarily pull the plug right away in a program in the first year, not to mention he has 4 years left in his contract. But if this continues, and the poor coaching decisions continue, and the poor management of game situations continue, and where the Jets are out there at 1-16, 0-17, yes, at that point you want to reevaluate and consider pulling the plug. Go right ahead, because the big question is going to be, do the Jets want to entrust this coach, this GM, and more importantly, this franchise with the so-called next franchise quarterback that's coming out of college? Whoever that may be, whether it's Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore or Ty Simpson or whoever else, Sellers out of Lenore Sellers out of South Carolina, whoever it is, I don't care who it is. It could be Gumby. I don't care. Okay? Do you really want to trust them with this franchise? Because you look at the history again. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, Hall of Famer and Aaron Rodgers. None of these guys, heck, even Mark Sanchez, none of these guys had success here. Or at least sustained success. Nobody. And that's just the way it goes. I hate to even make a video like this and to even talk about that, because I do see the intent, but it's just the consistent failures are undercutting it all. Like, subscribe, leave your thoughts below. We'll talk to you next time.